right, we are back. What's up, Garrett? What's up, Nick? We got a special guest tonight.
Dude, I'm excited. So we've had a couple players on before, DJ Dallas, Josh Johnson, different guys, but so far we've only had running backs on, and we need to give some other positions some love. And so we have a player that I think is a very, very special talent. Before I introduce him, Jared, Nick, how you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I just made the stream just in time. The girls were going nuts tonight, so had to hurry those baths up, read some books. Got the girl watching Toy Story right now. She's staying up a little late so I can do the stream. But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I keep forgetting we moved the time up of our regular show. I got my lift in late, and I was just showering, eating, just taking my time. It's like, oh no, we got a show, so I had to hurry up. I'm excited.
Well, I want to introduce Makai Polk. Makai Polk was a stud freshman last year for Cal, and especially towards the end of the season, we really started seeing some big plays, some big numbers. So, Makai, how you doing? Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Man, thank you guys for having me. I'm doing good. I'm feeling blessed right now. Couldn't be feeling much better, but due to this COVID, I wish I could be on the field, but hey, I'm still getting it in. Still going to team workouts and stuff like that, and then working out at home. So I'm doing good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that, man. So a few questions just so, our audience gets to know you a little bit better. One of the things as I was watching your tape, digging into you as a prospect, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you came out as an athlete, not necessarily as a wide receiver, but you played, you're primarily focused on defense in high school, right? You were a defensive back.
Yeah. So, I think it was senior year. I started to play receiver a lot more. Before that, I was playing safety, and yeah, man, I think it was like 7-on-7 right before my senior year. I started, playing receiver, and yeah, so it just skyrocketed from there.
And that's the crazy part to me. You go from literally focusing on defense, only 1 year of high school wide receiver, and then as a true freshman, you earn your time onto the field for this team and become the leading receiver in 2 straight games at the end of the year. That's incredible to me, man.
Yeah, it was just I just flipped the switch from the beginning of the season to towards the end. I just it was all coming together, and it started to become a lot easier once I was, familiar with the offense and really got comfortable with playing college ball.
Do you think that, playing the defensive side of the ball gives you a different perspective on angles and techniques that they're trying to do to disrupt your game?
It surely does. Yeah. It's just, because when, my senior year, I didn't play safety at all. I played receiver, and then I played corner. So going against a corner, it was, a lot easier because I know, as a corner, what I would do to stop a receiver. And, and it was easier to attack the DB's levers because, I played the position.
Yeah, it makes sense. So coming out, you were recruited as an athlete. When you were visiting Cal and you're talking to Cal, were they telling you like, hey, if you come here, we're going to put you at receiver? Or were you, not sure what they were going to do with you at that point? Were different schools recruiting you for different positions?
Man, I didn't really know until I would say until like it was time for me to go there. I started talking to the receiver coach more at the time, and that's when I knew I was going to be playing receiver here.
Well, I mean, you definitely got the size for it. I mean, 6'3", that's a pretty large defensive back, and so I think that obviously with how well you performed at the end of the year, I think you made a good choice. They made a good choice. I think everyone looked smart for that move. So with all of this going on, obviously you've talked about being newer to the position. What are the things that you're working on? Because, there's not as much that you can do because of COVID, but there's still a ton of stuff that you can work on to get better. What's some of those areas that you're focusing on?
Man, honestly, I'm just focused on getting more explosive, getting faster and stronger. And, I do some stuff at home, like working on my, working on my hand placement off the line and stuff like that. And then releases and stuff like that. And then routes. So that's the stuff.
No, Nick loves that.
Yeah, I love all that technical stuff. I mean, and as you know, I mean, they're going to learn your releases, and then you're going to have to go back to a counter release. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
that's good stuff to hear. One thing, not game related, or maybe it is, that I was curious about is I see Showtime with your name. Is that a nickname, or what's going on with that?
Man, I got that nickname at 10 years old, and I just stuck with it ever since. It was a nickname I got for track. So when, we would get ready to run the 400, they'd be like, oh, it's showtime. Like, and then my dad would tell me that, my coach would tell me that. And I just stuck with it ever since then.
Right. Do they call you that at Cal, the guys?
Nah, they don't, I mean,
they will be
soon. Do, but not everybody, but
I remember we had freshmen come in with nicknames, like Hollywood, things like that when I was coaching. And, when they're freshmen, we're like, okay, whatever. But then as they got upperclassmen, you call them by their nicknames. So maybe in time it will happen.
Yeah, in time.
Very cool. You guys have any other questions before we dig into this film?
I wanted to ask them just about recruiting quick, just what that process was like for you, what schools are kind of looking at you, and then why you ultimately picked Cal.
Man, so I started off my recruiting process getting mostly recruited as DB. My first offer was from Oregon, and I thought, I was like, hey, man, like I might, be getting a lot of offers, getting big or whatever. But it wasn't until I think it was right before senior year, it was the end of junior year, I started to get offers, and it was stressful because it took a long time, but I mean it was just fun to just go through that experience and get a chance to talk to a lot of coaches and get a feel for being wanted by a lot of people. So man, I would just say that that it was a fun process. It was cool, and to add a little bit more detail, I would say I went on an official to Arizona, and I really liked it. I liked it a lot, and they wanted me to play DB, and at that point, I was kind of like I was open to it, but I didn't want to play safety in college. I was like, I'd much rather play corner. So I kept that in the back of my mind, and then when I took my official to Cal, it was like, oh yeah, we're gonna give you the opportunity to play corner or receiver. So that's what kind of had me sold.
Okay, so I coach high school ball, and actually I help a lot of my job is in a high school. I'm a counselor. So what advice would you give people going through that process, athletes, taking their official visits and talking with coaches, because it can be really stressful?
Mm-hmm. I would just say with this process, just stay in your comfort zone and really just focus on what you want from a college and focus on what you want to get out from a college. I feel like it's really important. Education always comes first. So I feel like, that should be, the main point. And also being that if you want to play in the league or not, you got to look at a school who's, produced a lot of, players to go to the league and stuff like that. So I feel like those are two, really, really good things to consider and look at.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. So the chat is saying we need to give an early 19th birthday shout out to you, Makai. I guess you're turning 19 on August 4th.
Yeah.
We got some fans in the chat here.
Thank you, God.
That's awesome. Well, happy birthday, man. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Let's get into this tape, though.
All right, let's do it. So, yeah, Makai, as we're going through here, we're going to kind of let you lead the way a little bit. So, this one, we have some all 22. So you'll see it from the all 22 view, and then you'll see it from the end zone view. But just kind of tell us what you were running, what you were thinking, all that kind of stuff there.
Okay.
And some of them we'll know are just runoffs or, that kind of stuff. But
yeah.
Okay.
So this one, you outside release. Just checked it down. You guys got a nice tailback, man.
Can you go back to that one?
Yeah, Chris Brown.
Yeah,
we have another one named Marcel. He's pretty good too. All of them. Yeah.
Hey, on this play here, Makai, is this do you have this option to make this a stop route or a comeback on this?
Let me see. I think so. Yeah. So that was a play where it was like, if we can't beat them deep, just try to, fall out and see if, we can get like a back shoulder or like a pivot route or something like that.
Okay.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Washington State was kind of your coming out game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I knew you like slowly were earning more and more time, and this was kind of the one where you really exploded.
All right, so this play was we were in close alignment, and it was I think it was a 5-yard, 6-yard speed out, and yeah, this was my first catch of the game. I think that's where I warmed up, but
breaking those tackles.
In this play, we were practicing this in practice, and we were like, when the corner is playing like that, make sure to get outside of them and just break it off. And he'll throw you towards the sideline. So.
One thing I noticed when I'm watching you is you have wiggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, so before I was playing high school ball, I was a running back my whole life. So
okay.
I feel like that's what really got my wiggle right.
Well, that's a running back drill right there. Putting your hand on the ground, keeping your balance and going. So
good use of your hands here. I like how you get the DB's hands off you.
Yeah, he was. I think if I remember this play correctly, I think he might have shot his right hand. Trying to get a good jam off the line. But yeah, it was just, it was like a must outside release. So I was just, trying to get outside as best as I can.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a good point because people always think like, okay, well, this route has to be 5 yards. This one has to be 7. This has to be 10. Like the purpose of that one is if you go inside and try to get to your depth, you're not going to get outside and it's going to hurt your quarterback. So that one is just whatever depth you can get, MOR is what we call the mandatory outside release.
Yeah. This play.
Just a run.
I think this was a block and play. Tried to, I was, throughout the game, I was just trying to, give the corner, whoever was guarding me, a release and, trying to set them up for later in the game. So.
I like it.
CeeDee Lamb did that all the time when we broke it down his tape. He was always, setting up the next play, even if it was a run.
Rashad Bateman did that a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah. This play was, I think I had an under route. It was a lazy route, but, I don't think it was meant for me.
Yeah.
This was for our running back. We know that they were playing in a certain way, so, just dump off.
Leaving the flats open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it looks like you're setting them up for later, like you were saying there, because that was a different release off the line, and you're like delaying him. I like that.
This was,
Again, just was this? Obviously set up, either running the ball or throwing it out to wide receiver on a bubble.
Yeah.
Good comeback.
Are you guys always converting versus cloud?
So when we have like a comeback and versus cloud, yeah, we convert that. And other, I would say like out breaking routes, like like a 10-yard speed out or whatever versus Cloud. We converted to a go route.
Try to hit that whole shot.
Yeah.
Tell me about Garber a little bit. You know, what are your thoughts on him? Now, I know that he's not in this game, but he's your starter. He's going to be in the Illinois game that we're going to be breaking down after this. Tell me a little bit about him.
Man, Chase, you know, you really start to see, you know, his real potential towards the end of the season. You know, he and even you know, sprinkles of games earlier in the season like Ole Miss, and he played really good that game. But yeah, towards the end of the season, he really started to, you know, get a lot comfortable in our offense, and he just started to, you know, let loose and play free. You know, he was hitting the open man, and then he was also even giving us chances to go get the ball and stuff like that. So
yeah, the two of you in the Illinois game that we'll break down next looked like you guys had a real good connection.
Yeah.
What year is Chase?
You said what, man?
What year is Chase?
Chase is about to be a redshirt junior.
Okay. So he'll be draft eligible next year. Well, he's already draft eligible, I guess.
Yeah. You do a good job of getting their head turned. So you don't have to block them. You can just run them off. That's, you know, because you'll stutter and you'll mess with them.
Yeah.
Good.
Did they put you back in the return game at all?
Nah. During the spring, I was trying to.
Yeah, because you look like you could be dangerous. The ball in your hands.
Yeah, that's, you know, I like to get the ball in space, like on slants and stuff like that. You know, try to get my wiggle on.
Yeah, because you're always messing with the DBs even when you're not getting the ball.
Yeah. I'm at the top.
Yeah, you're at the top here. It looks like it's
Go around.
just a run play.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, nice play. Run that back.
That was, man, I think this was, no, I don't think oh yeah, that's I ran a stop route at 12 yards, or like, I think it was like 14, but, you know, I didn't get to the sticks. I was just looking at, you know, I was hoping the ball could be right there on me so I could make a move and go, but maybe it was unfortunate. It was right there.
So when you're lining up, are you looking just at the corner? Are you looking at the safety? Are you looking at the linebackers? What are you scanning?
You know, it depends on the route. I feel like most of the time I'm looking at the safety and the corner. You know, being that if the safety is you know, trying to sneak down or whatever, or is he trying to, you know, get over top? And I know it's cover 2. So you know, just, you know, I feel like, you know, just looking at him really tells a lot about the game. And then also the corner. Corners in the Pac-12 tend to play a lot of outside techniques. So, you know, we really don't, as a receiver, we really don't get a real good look at a cover 0. We get a lot of, you know, cover 1s and then cover 2s and 3s. So, you know, I really, looking at the safety really helps with knowing how I should run routes and stuff like that.
Right. They're just inviting a slant then, huh?
You said what, man?
They're just inviting a slant if they're outside technique most of the time.
Yeah. And then also they with our new offense that we have right now, they also tell us they're also encouraging us and to look at the linebackers a lot more because of the plays that we have. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a nice ball. Who's the quarterback in this game?
Devon Monster.
Okay.
I think this was a post route.
Gotcha.
Just ran. But it wasn't by me though. It was open, but.
You had him.
Ooh, I like that.
And it's like is the film supposed to be like, it's kind of like, it's like moving, but it's like it's like
it's looking a little choppy. It was probably it might be my fault when I cut it.
Okay.
Yeah, some of the L22 isn't always the clearest either.
Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes, we're on a Zoom call, so it's transmitting.
I was gonna say it almost looks clearer on Twitch, actually.
Yeah, well, one of the things I'd like on this route, Makai, is because you're baiting him inside, and then when you need to go around him, you dip your shoulder. Is that something you really work hard on to make like less surface area for him to get his hands on you?
What kind of route was this? Because I couldn't even see the route. Was it like a corner route?
Yeah, it looks like a circus or a corner route. Yeah.
Okay. With this route, I was just looking to beat him inside, and then if he tried to get his hands on me, dip my shoulder, so he couldn't really grab anything or push anything, and then just get upfield and then break it off. But I feel like that's really important with this route, is that I feel like you really don't have to get inside right away. You could go outside and then try to work it like that. But I feel like the importance of this route is just dipping your shoulder, so that the corner doesn't have anything to touch with it.
You have really quick feet for your size, man. That's a great trait.
Oh, here it is.
There it is, a coming out party right there.
Oh boy.
Whoop.
Oh, another one.
Man, it was almost done for me at the end of the run. My hamstring started cramping.
Really?
Did you really?
Man, I was tired. Like I wasn't tired from running. It was just my legs was just. I was like, man, my hamstring just hurting right now. but man, I feel like with that play, it was just I feel like I woke up that morning, feeling like I had to do something this game. I had two people that I went to high school with, on the other team, and we have been going back and forth the whole season, talking about who was going to win, who was going to win. I was like, man, they coming to the Bay, like I got to do something. So so with that play, man, I just caught the ball. Like as soon as I caught the ball, I didn't have to jump at the beginning, but I jumped just to, freeze the defender because I knew I was going to juke inside.
Yeah.
So I feel like that jump when I jumped and cut to the right, I feel like that's what opened the play up a lot.
You read the field exceptionally well, man.
Thank you.
You see the leverage of the defenders really well. Nick always uses this, but it really looks like you have a plan out there as you're going.
Mm-hmm. I feel like with that play, it was having a plan, but also feel like it was just being relentless and then having good instincts as well.
Yeah, you definitely have good instincts, especially when the ball's in your hands.
Did you, on that play at the end there before you cut back to the, to score, did you think about just, hey, I'm going to use all my speed and see if I can get past these guys?
I was thinking about it until my hamstring started hurting, and then I was like, nah, I gotta make a move, because if I don't, I'm
not getting it.
And
Well,
then,
go ahead, Nick.
So then one last question on that play is, how did it feel when you scored?
Man, it felt like a dream come true, honestly. I feel like, earlier in the season, I feel like, I could have done that earlier in the season, but it was just, I just felt like that game, it was just, I just had to do something. And then I was just like once it happened, it was like, man, like it was unreal, but it just felt good just to, finally, do something and make an impact. So I felt like that was one of the touchdowns that I'm going to remember forever. That was probably my favorite one.
Yeah. Well, you're coming out party, but also confidence builder. You know what I mean? Now I did it. Now you can,
Well, and with the all-22, we don't have the score and time. But if I remember correctly, y'all were only up 3, and this was in the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah, that was in the fourth quarter, and it was I think that was third down too. So a play had to be made sooner or later because I think the drive before that we went 3 and out, and
it's like
and we just needed a spark. So that was the spark that we needed.
And that basically put the nail in the coffin, man.
So was this your first score of the year?
Yeah, that was my first touchdown of the year.
Nice. That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so what were they seeing, obviously because they're seeing a little bit on the field, but, you're gaining more time. You can just see like the length of this game compared to the length that we're going to watch of the Illinois game of your total snaps. What were they seeing in practice or on the field that kept earning you more and more playing time as a true freshman?
I feel like in fall camp and even in spring, I established myself as a receiver who should be playing, and then also as a receiver who belongs. So I feel like it was just me making the play in game is what needed me to get more playing time. So, but I feel like it's like in practice, fall camp, spring ball, I was balling out. I was clearly one of the best receivers out there. So it was,
Love it. Well, obviously it was working because now we got the Illinois game. This is your bowl game, last game of the season, and you definitely didn't disappoint.
Man, it was something about this morning, man. It was something about this morning. I don't know what music I was listening to, or if it was just, man, I can't let my family down. They come to the game, but I feel like it was, I felt real comfortable in this game, and I feel like that really helped a lot.
I mean, you're wide open here, first play. I mean, because you're threatening this corner vertically, you know what I mean, and that leaves a huge opening.
I think this is an RPO play. I had it was either a 3-step or 5, so I can't really see like that.
Looks like a 5-step.
Yeah.
I remember this play. They were in cover 2, I believe, and I had a 10-yard in route, and all week, it was open, so I really didn't have to stop for the ball. But in the game, I just need to have the better awareness just to stop right there. But yeah.
Yeah, it's good you recognize that, kind of settle in the zone there for your quarterback.
Yeah, man, just to sit down.
Yeah,
right there on the right there on like the 32-yard line. I probably should set that down right there.
We got a question from the chat. What's up, Weagle? Thanks for coming in tonight. He said, "Is there an NFL receiver that you try to model your game after?"
Man, it's a couple of them. I feel like I try to model my game, like model different parts of my game for different receivers. I like my favorite receiver is Odell. So after the catch, I try to model my game after him. I like Devontae Adams and Keenan Allen. They really have good routes and good releases off the line. And then it was Cal guy, Stephon Diggs, like him a lot, and I like Julio a lot too. But I really watch every receiver in the game. Just for every part, whether it's route running, releases, going up to go get the ball, and running past people, juking defenders, strength, blocking, all that. Look at different receivers.
Got lined up down at the bottom. Looked like that was out.
Yeah,
tough to see with the broadcast angles.
I think they were in cover 2. I think I had a go route or a fade, and it was a must outside or something like that. So,
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the tough part. You know, we have a library of some of the all 22s, but you know, of course, they don't have the bowl game for some reason, so we had to do the broadcast version.
Yeah.
We got another question from the chat from some guy at Fantasy Intervention. What is your favorite route to run?
Ooh,
What's up, Chip?
I don't know. Probably a post. Probably my favorite route. Probably a post.
Probably fits your skill set the best, I would think.
Do you care? Do you have a preference on the leverage the corner has when you're going to run that?
I mean, I really don't care like that. I feel like I could beat a corner either way if they playing outside leverage, inside leverage, head up. You know, I feel like once I'm even with them, I'm leaving. That's how I think about everything. Once I'm even, I'm leaving. So, you know, I feel like I can beat a corner inside or outside on the post. It doesn't matter.
Well, one of the things I always talk about, Makai, is that a player needs to have a big toolbox, you know, because if the corner is playing inside, you got to beat that. Head up, you got to beat that. Outside, you know, if they get their hands on him, you have to do something else. So what you're saying is exactly it, because you have to beat so many different kinds of coverages.
Yeah.
Get off the ball, man.
I feel, you said what, man?
The guy was yelling at you to get off the ball.
And I feel like that's one of the hardest parts in college though, when you're used to, you know, running routes going inside all the time, or you running routes going outside. I feel like that's one of the hardest parts, because in college they change it up and you really don't get used to, you know, one thing that a corner does. It's all of them play different and you know, have, you know, different techniques and stuff. So I feel like that's what helps going against a lot of, you know, different types of corners. So,
what's your favorite?
Here we got a 3-step slant.
Yeah.
I had a slant on this one. Man, I wish I could have. I feel like I should trust myself more. I really could have outran them, or, you know, kept going to the left side, but I was just like, man, let me get upfield, because I couldn't feel how close the corner was. If I would have known he was over there, I would have juked the safety and just ran. But,
so good catch away from your body, good hands. I like it.
I think this is my first catch of the game.
Yeah.
Let me come up.
How do you feel lining up all over the field as a freshman? Do you think it was too much, or do you think it's okay? Because I've seen you on the right, the left, the slot.
I feel like it's okay. I'm fine lining up wherever. Yeah, I feel like it's fine.
Was it tough to learn all that quickly?
Yeah, it was, being that, you know, I had sometimes, you know, as a freshman, you don't always want to look at your plays. You know, you want to have fun and do other stuff. But yeah, man, I feel like, you know, once, I think it was, you know, right before fall campus when I started learning my plays. So
during the sexy route here.
Yeah.
I mean, you decelerate really well right here. Okay.
Yeah, that was a comeback?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a comeback. I knew that, you know, corner was, you know, playing like a little bail technique. I don't know if they were in 3. I think they were in 3, but yeah, man, I was just, you know, trying to attack his leverage, you know, and step on his toes and then break it off. So.
Yeah, he was pretty afraid of your speed, I think, here.
And for good reason. You're about to see another play real soon here.
Yeah, for 6'3", man, you really come out of your breaks pretty easy.
As a, you know, when I work out and stuff like that, I don't ever train on I don't train on turf. I train on the grass field, so I feel like that really helps.
Yeah.
You know, for all the people watching this, man, if you really want to get, you know, good coming out your breaks, practice on the grass field. That'll help you a lot.
Oh. So
yeah.
Yeah, I think your foot. I'll run it back. I think we have like 6 different replays on this play.
Yeah, there's a bunch. I put like everyone in.
I know. I was like, when's this? I feel like I've seen this angle.
I think part of it was because they were reviewing it on the field too.
Man, and that's even crazy going through like even like you know how you as a spectator when you're watching college games and stuff like that, you look at the when you look at instant replays and stuff like that. I feel like that was just crazy, like being in the game and I'm looking at myself on the instant replay. I was like,
wait, that's me.
Like, that's crazy.
So I don't know, what did they end up calling here? I mean, were you just out of bounds at the 2?
Yeah, I was out of bounds.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I was out of bounds.
But they called it a catch first, and then out.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, you
so
almost.
This play was a I forgot what formation we was because we don't run anymore. But we were in trips at first, and then I motioned to the right side, and we had been practicing this in practice, and this is exactly how they played it. The corner, wasn't gonna, really touch me that much or even get outside of me. So I feel like with that, I know I had a free lane to the outside. All I had to do was just catch the ball because it was gonna be wide open.
Love it, man.
You did a good job of widening there because that safety, you're in the boundary. There's not a lot of space. That really helped your quarterback.
Man, wish I could have scored. That safety got over there fast, man.
We got another question from the chat. We got a couple, actually. Where do you think you need to improve in your game, and what do you think is your best strength, your best attribute?
Man, improvement. I feel like getting stronger and getting more explosive. I feel like, and also with just sometimes I can kind of come into the game and it takes a minute for it to build up, being like in terms of intensity or stuff like that. I feel like coming in the game, establishing my dominance from the first play is where I really can improve, and then like I said, strength and speed.
Okay.
And then something I do well. I would say something I do well is not playing like your typical 6'3" receiver. I feel like I move like a smaller guy, so I feel like that really helps my game a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Are you guys concept based with your routes? Are you number based? How do you guys, do all that?
We are concept based, but with, I would say, with routes we are we do it on steps. So so like a 6-step route would be an out-breaking route, or like a 7-step route would be an in-breaking route, and then we just go out steps.
Okay.
Interesting.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, because your inside to foot is up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I've actually never heard that before.
Yeah, we got a brilliant offensive coordinator in Bill Musgrave. I don't know if you know him. I don't know if you guys know him, but he was an offensive coordinator for the Raiders, and when they went to the playoffs that year. So he's
got some experience.
Yeah,
that's good. That's a good guy to learn from.
Mm-hmm.
And like, do they call when you have to like max your splits or reduce your splits, or is that something you just have to learn?
It's something that we have to learn, and it's also it's something that we have to learn. It's depends on the play.
I like Garbers.
Yeah,
Me too.
He's good.
He was letting it loose this game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a dime right there.
It really is. He's got a good arm.
Yeah, he's made that smash that last.
Ooh.
He's got a family, Makai.
Look at that stack.
Look
at that stack.
That was man. I've been working on that since my senior year. I was trying to get somebody with that. And, I think this route was this play was off on. You guys see those little like receiver pages on Instagram or like Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, receiver
factories and stuff. Yeah,
this play was on one of those.
Oh, really?
Look at you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I love the releases. Obviously beautiful, but then how you stacked the DB there, like that's next level.
Yeah, it was. We had we have been taught from since spring ball just once you beat a DB, just stay on that red line, and then the quarterback, the ball fades you out, or you just run up under the ball. So giving yourself room from the sideline by stacking them is really important as a receiver.
So I like how you keep your shoulders square as you're on the line there messing with them, because I've seen a lot of receivers, Diggs and Doug Baldwin, they talk about, to beat them, you almost do like a crossover in basketball. You faked right and then you went left, and it works really well.
Oh yeah, you're hype.
Yeah, that's what I was hyped.
I love it.
Do you talk on the field? Are you a talker?
Not really. I felt the only game I really was talking in was USC. They kind of, those guys was kind of, trying to get under my skin. But yeah, I feel like that was the only game where I was talking. I don't really be doing too much talking like that. I just, get the job done, celebrate with my teammates, dance a little bit. But,
So the chat wants to know, are you a future fantasy football alpha wide receiver one?
I don't really play too much fantasy football, so can you kind of break it down to me a little bit?
So basically, wide receiver one would be like a top 12 scorer at the wide receiver position in fantasy football.
Oh, for sure. When I get to the league, man, all you guys, and get me on your team, because I will go stupid and I will get all the points for you.
Man, we do some Devi and some campus to Canton leagues, which means we're drafting you guys now before you even get to the league. And that was how I discovered you. I was like, all right, I gotta do some deep dives on some guys. I was like, who's this kid from Cal? And I started turning on some tape. I was like, oh, I'm gonna snatch him up right now. So I got you in 2 leagues already.
Man, thank you, man.
Absolutely, you're making it well worth my while.
All right. Great. They said great answer. So when you first got to college, another question from the chat from a little bit ago. Did the talent surprise you when you first got there? Like, were you like, okay, this is like, wow?
No, not really.
Just football for you?
Yeah, it was just football. It was the only thing that was different from high school and college was just size and speed and awareness. I feel like when people are, with these college players who've been there for a minute, they really know the system and stuff like that. So I feel like that was the really only difference, just the physical makeup, stuff like that. But, talent-wise, no.
Good. Gotcha.
Man, this is a big play right here.
Yeah.
4th and goal. You guys are going for it for the half.
I love it.
Yeah, I thought honestly, I could have done a better job selling this, but this play was we were in 2x2, and I was just they told me to motion in just to see if the corner would go with me. And when the corner went with me, we knew that they weren't man. So we were like, man, it's a cakewalk from here. All I got to do is make a collision with that linebacker, and it'll be good. But the thing is with them that they almost stopped it on is that they switched. So that linebacker that was next to the corner went with the tight end, and the other linebacker, the middle one, went with the running back. And all week, I was just, told to, just kind of make a collision and just kind of cut the linebacker off. That was, the closest one near me. So
yeah, I wonder if that middle linebacker just kind of recognized it and.
Yeah, he did. I was like, man,
almost made a play.
Yeah,
Chris Brown.
But luckily we got C Breezy. He making big plays over there.
I was wondering if you called him Breezy. That's awesome.
Yeah, we call him C Breezy.
He can run it. He can run it.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. That was bad. That was bad. Hey. Yeah. I was thinking it the whole show, but
I'm sure you were.
So was I. I'm a big Breezy fan.
Hey. Back in the day.
Ooh.
Man, that was a post route. I feel like with this, man, if I remember right, I could have, gave him a better release at the line, and I feel like I gave him a hezzy that I really shouldn't have gave him because I was already past him, and I could have, stacked him a little bit more. But this is a lesson.
That's interference.
I was gonna say they did throw a flag on it though.
Oh, they did? I was about to say.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's grabbing your arm. Get him out of here.
Did they? I'm struggling to remember now. Did they call?
Nah, they didn't call one on this.
They didn't call this one.
You almost sold it though.
If they called it, it is what it is. But I don't feel like. I'm not gonna make too many excuses. I should have been there to catch
I love
ball,
it.
So.
I love it.
So you were talking about that hesitation at the line that maybe you didn't need to do. When you're getting to about 10 yards here and you realize you're not going to stack him, do you re-hesitate? I mean, you're talking about Adams and Keenan Allen. They do that stuff all the time, and it's dirty. You know what I mean? Because then they're thinking it's a comeback or a dig. Do you do that a lot in your game, where you do like a double hesitation?
Sometimes I do. It depends on the route. But I feel like with this one, I had the DB on his heels the whole game, so I feel like I should have, given him a new look at the line. Could have been, really fortunate for me. I felt I could have gave him like a little one stick at the top, a little speed, maybe hesitated, and then I could have, got to the ball. But, I felt like that was a prime example of switching it up with a different look.
Yeah. Garrett, you drafted him in our league?
Oh, yeah. I have him in all my C2Cs, which is only 2 right now. But nah, I ain't letting you get past me.
What do you want for him?
Is that weird to think about, Makai? People are drafting you for their fantasy leagues. Is that just weird to think about?
And it is crazy now that you guys telling me that. It's like, man, like,
yeah,
you would never think about, stuff like that. But now, as I've played a college season, so it's getting a lot, everything's getting thrown at me at once. So, I'm getting familiar with everything now, everything, some stuff is, is not even surprising like that, but I feel like, that is, and that's just, I'm just blessed, for people, to really take a vested interest in me, interviewing me, having the time to talk to me. I really appreciate that.
Oh man, of course. We appreciate you coming on. If only there was NCAA football still, the video game you could play and stuff.
Man, we had we got a group chat, right? And then one of the receivers on our team sent like a video of him playing NCAA 14 with like a roster that some guy
rosters.
did.
Yeah,
man, they had my rating at like a 70, or like a 69 or something like that. I was like, man, I just gotta go way harder,
Yeah, Nick and I actually play NCAA 14 and an online Dynasty. We'll have to see how you did.
What's up? Man, they got my speed on there like a 81. I was like, God.
Oh, man.
Disrespectful.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, that is not true.
I gotta, I feel like, I feel like with like I had a screen I took back, another one against UCLA, and a lot of teammates of mine, and then people outside were asking me, "Oh man, well, was you running your fastest? Because you didn't look that fast." I'm like, "No, man." It was nobody to be found. Like I ain't even have to run. But next time I get a play that's that wide open, best believe I'm moving.
I like the way you change up your speed on this one.
Yeah, he had to wrap you out around the hips there, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had
Does this get called?
I think this one
he
does.
threw it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you had him. I mean,
Oh, yeah, you had him beat.
safety's like shit.
That was the same guy from earlier, too.
Yeah.
He's flat-footed. There's no way he's winning.
Yeah. I feel like, with that route, just threatening him is really going to get him on his heels, threatening him with speed. So I feel like that's really what, helped me to get that PI.
This dude got kicked out for this, didn't he?
Oh,
I
man.
was about to say, they had to have.
That's my big bro. His name is Camilo Eifler, I think. He went to a school out in the Bay Area called Odell, which is not too far. Which is not too far from high school I went to. So yeah, I met him. During the game. We've been cool ever since then. So, you're really cool dude.
That's cool.
But yeah.
Yeah.
What high school did you go to, Makai?
I went to El Cerrito.
Okay.
Yeah, went to El Cerrito High School and also went to Dorsey High School in LA.
Is that
Okay.
close?
2 years.
Is that close to Cerritos, California?
No.
No. Okay.
Nah. I went. El Cerrito. Man, we didn't produce some talent out there. We got. I don't know if you know, but we had a DB play for UCLA. His name is Darius Pickett. He was a stud at UCLA, and now he's going to playing for the Patriots right now. So,
Okay.
we got, and then it was some other dudes. So, produce some good dudes.
Mm-hmm. Is this that back shoulder fade out of the slot? Okay.
Oh yeah, it was a play that we used to have. It was called I think it was Phoenix. So it was just to get outside the DB and fade out. And I thought he was gonna throw it because I was 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, if he throw it, gotta go on, over this boy's head, moss him real quick.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you got him. You got him outside. You got him on top. Back shoulder.
I love
That's such a great play for a player like you because you have quick feet and you have the length. It's really unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had him. I really like Garber's eyes on this play. He's widening the safety, holding him down there. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's gonna hit that hole. Boop.
You talking about the safety to the right, right?
Yep. Yeah. Staring right at him to hold him.
He did a good job holding him. Because at that point, he got to be throwing some over here because he's not looking the other way. But that was a good play by him for sure.
Not scared to mix it up, I see. You've had some held your ground this game.
You said what, man?
So you did a good job blocking throughout this game, I feel like. Not afraid to mix it up.
Nah.
Guess that's that defensive mentality.
That play right there, man. It was. They don't. If I wish there was another angle of that play that you just ran back.
There is another one right after this.
The dude was holding me so much the whole way. Like I was trying to and I was running my route, and I saw Chase rolling out to the right. I'm like, oh, let me go towards the sideline. You know, he'd throw it to me, and the dude was just grabbing me the whole way. I'm like, God, man, like,
Yeah.
you can't.
You're talking about this play?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
thought there was another angle. Maybe there wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, you almost made a play on the ball. You killed him off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. That was I think that was that was a slant. It was a slant converted into a, you know, I had to convert it because he was rolling out. But yeah, it wasn't
Scrambled,
a slant. Yeah. And I thought he was gonna wait to throw it because the linebacker had shoot it out as soon as I ran that. But
It really, I mean, you can just see it time and again, Makai, your releases. It's really unfair with how quick your feet are with your size because you just don't expect it. You know, the one person in the chat actually said with your size, because you're really skinny for your height too, you know, they said that because you're explosive, it reminds them of Robbie Anderson. Have you ever had that comparison or thought of that before?
No. Nah.
Because he's got some jets, man, kind of like you do. And he's,
Yeah,
he's tall.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm aware of it.
Guys kind of have that same frame too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
that's one of the things I'm working on, this off season, just to, putting on weight and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's really gonna help me. I'm trying to get to like 205 by the season. I'm at 197, 198 right now.
Well, there you go.
Kind of been consistent with that for a couple of weeks, but I'm trying to at least get to 205, 200 by the season. I feel like that'll really help.
Good for you, man. That's great.
So that's what, an extra 15 pounds from your freshman year?
Little do people know. Freshman year, I weighed 188 I was 188, 190 during the season. Like the beginning of the year, because when I first got there in the spring, I was listed at 180, and then I had got sick. I had got up to like 188, and then I got sick, and I went down to 172. Like, it was bad. I was.
You were real sick.
I had the flu, and then I had a respiratory infection. So
that corona.
No, I was for real. I had the corona before the corona.
Right.
but yeah, I was sick for so long, and then I started to gain my weight back, in fall camp, and then during the season I was 188, 190. So
okay. So is that something that's made you better? You think like maybe you weren't even 100% at the beginning of the year, and then end of the year when you started thriving, maybe you were back to yourself again?
Man, I'm not even gonna make no excuse for myself. I feel like me, not performing in the beginning of the year was all me. It was, just I feel like I had to mature, and I feel like, not, succeeding from when I first started playing really helped me. Yeah.
Love it, man. Well, we have a couple more questions in the chat. One more real quick that I'm curious your answer. Which NFL QB would you be most excited to catch a pass from? Is there a guy you're looking at like, man, put me with him? Man, I like my favorite quarterback is Lamar Jackson. So okay.
I feel man, Lamar, like it would either have to be Lamar. It's four of them: Lamar, Pat Mahomes, Russell Wilson, or A-Rod. They're my four right there. But I feel like right now, like A-Rod got the prettiest passes I've ever seen. So I feel like, catching a pass from him, will really
former Cal guy as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say that.
But I feel like if I wanted to play with anybody, it'd be Lamar, because just how electrifying he is, and then how he can make plays and stuff like that. But, yeah.
What's going on? Like right now. So you're doing your workouts. You're with the strength staff, I assume.
Yeah.
And then when are you guys going to start practice? What's the plan for that?
So the plan right now is for the season to start in like early October, and then we're going to start fall camp in like early September, just to, give a month of fall camp. So I feel like that's when practice is going to start. But But yeah, that's all we know right now. We don't really know for sure, but that's what we're aiming for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It gives you more time to, add on that weight and work on your game. Are you doing anything in terms of like your hands and catching, that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So, I wake up, if I'm not working out with the team, I work out at home. So I wake up at like 6:30 in the morning 6 o'clock in the morning, work out at 6:30 in my garage. I have a weight set up in there. And then after, I lift weights, I have a little balance ball. I don't know if you guys see those little half balls.
Bosa ball.
Yeah, those Bosa balls. Yeah, I have a Bosa ball. So I stand on the Bosa ball with one leg, and then I just catch passes from, every angle, whether it's low, high, to the right, to the left, down, right, up, left. I do that, after every workout. And then sometimes, I have somebody pushing me, tugging at me, so that, it can work on my hands and my balance at the same time. So
your core. That's a great workout.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's awesome. Well, I don't want to keep you too long. We've already been at this for an hour. But man, we wish you nothing but the best of luck in all of your endeavors moving forward. I know I was already impressed with you beforehand, and now I'm excited that we got to showcase your talents to a lot more people. A lot more people are hopefully going to know the name now. Are going to be looking for you, once the pack season starts up and whatnot. So really happy to have you on. I appreciate you taking the time, man.
Man, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah. Yep. Maybe we'll have you on the show, maybe after another season or something.
Yes, sir.
When you're all pro, come back.
I'll be down to do it, man. Any day, man. Just hit me up, man.
Awesome.
Will do, man. Will do.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you. Have a good night.
All right, man. All right.